Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another video for you where I'm changing the brakes on a 2019 RAV4. A little bit complicated, but not too bad. A lot of you guys who watch my channel have not subscribed. Come on, hit the button down below, or is it here? Whichever, hit the button down below, put notification bell on so you don't miss any of my video. Without further ado guys, let's CarStomIt. Alright guys, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna loosen the bolt on the tire, then we're gonna raise it up, and then we're gonna take out the tire and start doing the brake. So let's go. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. Now we're gonna raise the car up, guys. Let's unscrew all the bolts now. Let's take out the tire now and put it to the side so we can start to work on the brake. We have two 14mm bolts that's holding the brake caliper. We got to take both of them out and then we're going to hang the caliper on the wheel. Let's go. So guys, I use a hanger wire to hold the caliper up. You can use a little bungee cord or anything else if you like. Alright guys, I got one of the brake pads out. I just got to show you how bad this was. It was basically nothing left on there. This one was touching metal. Let me give you a closer look. Look, metal on metal. Really bad brake feel. But anyway, we're replacing it. Let's go. Alright guys, to take the caliper bracket out, I use a 16 wrench and a breaker bar to just loosen it. Let's just take both of them out. Alright, last bolt is out. Now we can take out the caliper. Alright guys, I was trying to figure out how to take out the rotor. So it's a floating one, but it's still seized up from just normal use. To take out the seized up rotor, guys, you can use a hammer, a mallet, but for me, I found a 12-inch nut that was perfect. So I just keep twisting it and twisting it, and eventually it just popped out. After you're done, unscrew that bolt, then it's easier to take out the rotor. So this is the new rotor, guys. So I'm just taking out of the plastic. We're gonna get it ready to be installed. So guys, I have these tools to help you take out the brakes, to push back this tool to push back the caliper. So you put the tool like this, and you keep cranking it up until it pushes the caliper back completely in, but don't go too far so you don't go past the rubber. Guys, I did not show you, but don't forget to open the fluid reservoir so everything can go back into the reservoir. Alright, ready. She is done. Let's move this to the side for now. Okay guys, we're gonna put a couple of little paper down on the floor so we don't mess it up. We're gonna use some brake cleaner, and then we're going to clean some of the brake dust off the knuckle. Alright guys, let's clean the brake caliper a little bit. Just take some of the brake dust off of it. Brake cleaner. Okay guys, this one is good. Let's go put it back in the car. Alright guys, let's get the rotor ready and then clean it up as well to remove the protective film so we can put it on and the brakes would work perfectly. Let's go. Okay, time to put the rotor on. Be careful, try not to touch the surface. Anyway, let's put it on. Guys, I use two nuts to hold the rotor in place so I can put the bracket and the brake caliper on. It will be easier. Alright guys, now it's time to put a little bit of NCCs on the bolt and then we're gonna install it. I put a little bit too much of this on, but I did clean it up afterward. But let's go and put the bolt on. All right, it's time to tighten those bolts. They are both 17 millimeters, so let's tighten them up and then we're going to torque them to spec. All right, guys, now let's torque those bolts to spec. I believe they are both 79 foot-pound. All right, guys, time to put the brake pads on. The first thing we're going to do, let's open up this little bag that has all the clips on. We're going to take one of the clips. Here's what they look like. We're going to put them on the bracket, and then we're going to put the brake pads on. So there's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Let's put them on. After you put all the clips on, guys, now it's time to get the brake pad ready. So here are the brake pads. Let's get them ready. After you take it out of the package, guys, this is what they look like. It's easier to put the bottom part on first and then you clip the top. It should be fairly easy. The pads that go in the back, it's a little harder because you can't see, but you put it in the same exact way.
You gotta snap in it.
I know. Oh, there we go.
Now, guys, we put a little bit of brake grease to help the caliper slide in easily. We also got to put a little bit in the back. Now, guys, let's install the brake caliper. Take it off the hanger wire and install it. Let's check the brake pad, make sure they are in all the way, and then we can start installing the brake caliper. Also, guys, just check on the slide pan, make sure they are moving freely before you install them, okay? Guys, let's put those 14 millimeter bolts that hold the caliper in. Just snug them up, and then we're gonna also torque them to spec as well. Let's go. Then, guys, we torque them down to 25 foot-pound on both. Now, guys, take out the hanger wire that we used earlier and take out the 2 bolts that we used to hold the rotor. Then straighten out the steering wheel, and then we're gonna go and put the tire back on. Now we snug all the lug nuts with the gun, and then we're gonna torque them to 76 foot-pound. Okay, guys, let's lower the car, and now we're gonna work on the back wheel. Let's unscrew the tire with the gun to make it easier and faster on ourselves, and then don't take them out completely, just unscrew them, and then we're gonna take them out after we raise the tire. We're gonna use the gun again to take all the lug nuts out, and then we can take out the tire.
All right, guys. So first thing you want to do, you got to take out the electrical parking brake. Okay, it's out. Now let's take out the caliper and the caliper bracket. Let's do the caliper first. Not down this time. Yes. All right, 17 and 14.
Just like the front, guys, I use the same hanger wire to hang the brake caliper so it doesn't fall down. Okay, guys, now it's time to take out the bracket, and I use a breaker bar to take it out. It wasn't easy, but I was able to do it. All right, got it. So now we can unscrew the rest by hand.
guys, calipers out, and brakes, real brake never really wear out the exact same way as the front, but they definitely needed to be replaced too. Take them out. All right, here you go. I'm gonna clean this up. All right, guys, looking really good. Let's do a little more. All right, guys, she looks good. Let's go back to the car now.
So guys, because of the electronic parking brake, I use a battery. You can use a 9-volt battery too, but I use this for my drill to push the caliper back.
Okay, it's going up. I need to go the other way. Need to go down.
You gotta flip it.
Yeah, flip it. Okay.
So basically, guys, I use those 2 wires to get the caliper back in.
There you go, see?
Once you push the caliper back, guys, it's a lot easier to give it another extra push so it goes all the way back in.
Outward.
Yeah. Let me do a little more.
It's much there. You didn't even need that kit.
Didn't need it.
Stick out the 2 wires just to make sure they don't touch each other.
Yeah, this one.
Yep, that's just how you have to do it.
I think that's it.
Yep, that's how you have to do it.
So guys, I used the 12mm bolt and nut and then just cranking it up until it just popped off again.
There we go.
Now that the rotor is off, we can take out the bolt. Let's remove the rotor. Now we're gonna put it to the side. Now I'm gonna put some paper down so I can clean where the knuckle is, trying to remove some of the brake dust with the brake cleaner. Let's go. Let's take the new rotor out of the bag, guys. We're gonna get it ready for installation. We're gonna clean it with some brake cleaner and then get it ready to be installed.
Oh yeah. I have to use that.
Time to install the new rotor into the hub. Just like the other wheel, we're gonna put 2 lug nuts to hold the rotor in place.
Okay.
Now let's put a little bit of NTCs on both. We're gonna start to put the bracket back on.
All right, 72.
Alright guys, now time to put the brake pads on. Let's take them out of the package. Let's also open this bag of clips because we're gonna have to install them as well. We gotta put all the clips on. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So guys, this kit comes with also the clips. You have 2 of them, 1 in the front brake pad and 1 in the rear. Now it's time to put the brake pads on. Put the bottom on first and then you clip it into the top. Just make sure it is straight. So for the back pad is the exact same thing. You just repeat everything. This is what it looks like, guys. All right, let's put it on. All right guys, rotor is installed and I also want to show you the brake pads. This is what they look like when they are installed. Okay, now it's time to install the caliper. Let's take the hanger off and then we're gonna install the brake caliper. Make sure you hold the brake pads together onto the rotor so it can be easier to install the brake caliper. Then we gotta put a little bit of NTCs on the bolts. We're gonna start installing them now. Now it's time to tighten everything. You're gonna need your 17 to hold the slide pen so you can tighten everything properly. We did the bottom part, now it's time to do the top. Same exact thing. Okay guys, now it's time to torque them down to 25 foot-pound. If I'm not mistaken, I would add it to the video, okay? Don't forget guys, connect the parking brake, that's very important. Then we got to take out those lug nuts that I had to hold the rotor so we can put the tire back on. Here's the tire, let's go and put it on now. Let's snug the lug nut with the gun, and then we're gonna also torque them to 76 foot-pound. Let's go. Let's lower the car down so the tire is touching the ground, and now we can torque them down to spec. Now we completely lower the car and we're gonna move to the next side. Next guys, we're gonna start on the back tire. We're gonna use the gun to loosen all the lug nuts off. Now we're gonna raise the car. Just make sure you put something in the front tire to stop the car from rolling, just in case. Let's take out the tire guys and put it to the side. First thing you gotta do, make sure you unplug the parking brake. Now it's time to take out the brake caliper. You need your 17 and your 14 socket and wrench. Hold one and then use the other one so it doesn't slide as you're trying to loosen the bolt. Now let's take out the brake caliper. I'm gonna use the hanger wire again just to attach it to the spring so it doesn't slide down, or if it slides down it won't break the brake line. Now I use my breaker bar with a 17 socket to release the bolt, and then we're also gonna take out that bracket as well. Alright guys, now it's time to push the caliper back. You need to use the 2-wire and the battery from my drill that I use. There's a left and a right, and just figure out which one goes where. And then after you're done, you need the plier to push it back. Just be careful where you use the pliers so you don't break the plastic housing of the parking brake. Just be careful, find a spot where you can use your plier and then push it back. It's a lot easier once the parking is already out, okay? Do a little bit at a time so you can get it properly without going too far so you don't mess up the rubber. So when you're done guys, this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay guys, now to take out the rotor, I use the same little 12 little nut that I had. You just keep twisting it and then it will eventually pop the rotor out, and then we can take out the rotor. Let's put a few napkin rag on the floor so we can protect the floor. Then we're gonna clean the hub with a little bit of brake cleaner, just a touch. Time to get the rotor ready. Let's take it out of the packaging. Then we're gonna clean it up with some brake cleaner a little bit. Just take out the grease off of it, and then we're gonna start putting it on. Okay guys, just like the other one, let's put 2 lug nuts to hold the brake rotor in place. A little bit of NCCs, and now let's put the bracket back on. Let's use the 17-inch socket and ratchet. We are gonna tighten those bolts up, and after that we are going to torque them down to 76 foot-pound. Guys, now let's get the brake pads out of the package. We're gonna install them. Before we put the brake pad, we have to put those little clips, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. There's also this clips that goes in the back brake calipers, guys. Don't forget to put them on. I forgot to show you on the last wheel. So you put the bottom part of the brake pad on first, and then you can clip it in on the top. Then you do the back the exact same way. Alright guys, another quick look how the brake pads look with the rotor installed. Also guys, make sure you play with the slide pen. Make sure they are moving freely. If they are not, take them out, put some grease to make it easier for them to move. Time to put back the caliper on. After you put the caliper, put a little bit of NCCs on both bolts, snug them up. Now tighten them down with your 14 and your 17mm socket and wrench. And we do the bottom 2. So let's
Okay. Now let's put the tire on, then put the car down.
Alright, this is all done. Let's lower this tire. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go start in the last tire. So we're just gonna loosen these lug nuts with the gun like as always. Now let's raise the car up so we can get it off the ground and start working on the last pair of brake. Okay, let's take out the tire now and put it to the side so we can work on the last pair of brake. First guys, let's take out the two 14mm bolts so we can start to work on the last brake, and then the next thing we have to do.
That was stupid of me. I do better.
Through the bolt, don't take it out completely, just leave it on a little bit so you have some leverage to take out the bottom one, and the bottom one you just take it out the same way. Once the brake caliper is out guys, so I found a little small bungee cord, so I'm just gonna hang the brake caliper on the shock for now so I can take out the bracket. So this one is 17mm. Let's use my breaker bar to take it out. Okay guys, both 17 nuts are on. The caliper is out. Here it is. This is what it looks like. Look how bad these guys are. Let me take it out so you can see. Look, super flat. There's no brake pad left anymore. You guys see? So they definitely need to be replaced. Let's go. Now for the rotor guys, same exact thing. Use that little 12, tighten it until the rotor just pops out. Let's go. Okay, the rotor popped out. Now we can take the little nut off and then take out the rotor. Okay guys, you know the drill. Time for a little bit cleaning of the hub with some brake cleaner. Now let's get the new rotor ready guys. I took it out the plastic bag. Then we're gonna use some brake cleaner to clean it out, to clean it off before we put it into the car. Okay, don't forget you clean the front and the back and try not to touch the surface that the brake pad are gonna be touching. Alright guys, the rotor is ready. Time to put it on. Guys, let's put the rotor on now. I'm also gonna use two lug nut to hold it in place, so it will make it easier for me to put the bracket and the brake caliper on. Alright guys, now it's time to put a little bit of anti-seize onto the bolt so we could put the bracket back on. Okay, now let's hand tight the bolt. This is the top one. We're gonna do the same thing to the bottom. Now a little bit of anti-seize on the bottom, and then we're gonna attach it as well. After installing the 17-inch bolt guys, now it's time to torque them to spec. They are 79 foot-pounds, so I'm just using my torque wrench and torquing them to spec. Alright guys, I'm gonna clean the brake caliper just a little bit with some brake cleaner.
Thank you.
I'm gonna use my little handy dandy tool and we're gonna just push the caliper back. Let's go. just checking the rubber to make sure I didn't push the caliper back way too much. It looks good. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put all the clips. There's usually 4, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. So I'm just putting them on now, okay guys? Now it's time to put the brake pads on. It's pretty easy. You put the bottom part on and then you just slide the top one on and it will just line itself up. That's it. Now we also do the back the same exact way. All right, there you go. They're both on. This is what they look like, guys. Now let's put a little bit of brake lubricant on top of the pads like all the other one, just to make sure it's easier for the caliper to go back and forth. Then we do the same thing in the back side of the caliper. Okay, let's take the caliper out of the little 3-foot little bungee jumper thing. Now let's put the caliper on, and then we're gonna put a little bit of anti-seize too into those bolts, and then we put those 2 bolts on the top and the bottom. All right guys, I'm just setting up my torque wrench to 25 foot-pound, and then we can torque the caliper to 25 foot-pound. That's it. All right guys, now it's time to put the tire back on. So I'll just turn the wheel back to put it straight in the middle. Then we can start putting the tire back on. Now I can take out the lug that I put to hold the rotor, and then we're gonna put the tire on. Then we're gonna torque him to spec. Now you put all the lug nuts on, guys. After you put all the lug nuts on, now you grab the gun, you just snug them up a little bit, and then you can torque them down to spec. I believe it's 76.
I only use the torque wrench when I'm working inside the engine, that's it.
Really?
Engineer does attack too, I will. Sure, but
All right guys, don't forget when you're doing the brakes, make sure you take the cap out, because you have to push the caliper back and the oil is gonna come up. So it's easier if you don't have the cap on to let the pressure out. Then once you're done, make sure you put the cap back, or else you're gonna lose all your oil or your pressure and no brake. And when you are done, make sure you press the brakes a couple times before you start, just to make sure you get some pressure back into the pedal. And then when you're driving it that first time, driving it slow, just to make sure you got good brake pedal field. All right guys, I just wanted to show you the old brakes, what they look like, where there's like a little ledge here, so we needed to definitely replace. So it's the front, I think these are the rear, the smaller one at the rear. Here you go. And guys, look, there's no pad left. And look at this, it was just perfect timing to replace the brakes. And this one was metal on metal. You see the difference? The rear still had a little bit of life left in them, but we just replaced everything. See, the rear. So there you go. All right guys, so the brakes for the 2019 RAV4 is all done so far. We haven't driven in it yet. We're gonna drive it and see how it feels, but I think it should be good. Let me show you real quick what it looks like. So here it is. You probably can barely see it, but the brakes and rotors are done. This is the rear,